Hi, Dr. Vince Belanzi again, and I just wanted to go a little further into what I started to talk about with Chapter 1. And what I want to mention is people, again, have this idea that there are maybe bad genetics. And what is being found again is that really there are no good or bad genes. In a certain environment, in a certain situation, your genetics could be a real asset. But in a different situation, it could be that you're going to have some diseases and problems. So there are people that are able to survive because of their genetics, and of course now you're around because of that. But it may have been that at the time they were living, for example, they were in desert conditions, there was very little to eat, so they have what is commonly being called thrifty genes. Well, that was a real asset in the desert, trying to live on very little to eat. And these people were able to survive doing that. But then you take that same person and you put them in a supermarket where they can have pretty much anything they want, especially things like junk food, a lot of starches, processed grains, and things like that. And they get overweight and they get diabetic and they get fatty liver and fatty bone, and they get all these complications from the fact that in abundance their body really can't deal with the excesses of starch and sugar and preservatives and everything else, because their genetics were really a benefit in, again, in a different environment. And we can make many examples about this. So there really are no bad genes. Again, in certain situations, the genetics could be an asset. Now, if you understand a little bit about this and you have a little inkling as to how your genetics work, we know in a general sense that there are things that are better to do than others. It is going to be healthier for us to consume real food. We'll talk more about that. It's going to be healthier for us not to be exposed to new to nature molecules like chemicals. It's going to be healthier for us to get certain amounts of physical activity for circulation, for detoxification, for our body to produce energy. I mean, there's many reasons that our bodies are built to be more active, and it's hard on our bodies to be sedentary. But even so, we're very like each other genetically. There's in a sense, statistically, very little variation in us, even though we could notice physical differences and genetic response differences. However, if you can link your lifestyle to how your genetics are working, that's the real secret. So you want to have your lifestyle designed to work along with the way your genetics respond to what's in the environment. And that's really what genes are doing. They are a reference book, and depending on what your body is exposed to, your body goes and creates a response. It may be to build new tissue, it may be to break something down and dispose of it, but whatever is going on in the environment, your body goes and references the genes. It may reference it to build proteins again, it may reference it to do certain things, but you want your genetics to match how you're living your lifestyle. If you have those thrifty genes, then you're going to have to live more like that person than desert. Doesn't mean you got to move to the desert, but you're not going to be able to eat the great amounts of food that somebody else might be able to tolerate and maintain their weight per se. So understanding this gives you some real power. It's not about, again, the fact that you're unlucky or you have something bad. It's really about learning how to use it. So we're going to go through my book, Health Recklessly Abandoned. We're going to go through chapter by chapter. There'll be more videos. We're going to make probably a video or two each week. And if you have the ability to get the book and look through it, that'd be great. This is Dr. Vince Belanzi, and we'll talk more. Get control of your health, because you can. Take care.